I've got 3 minutes left. And we're going to quickly go through it after that. What do I want here?
Not good.
Yes, I love you.
Number 2, for the height, is it 4, 6, or 8?
Which one? 6.
Oh,
There you go. Okay, so we have 30 seconds and most of you look like you're done with the warm-up. That means you should have everything off of your desk. So if you don't have everything off of your desk and you're finished with the warm-up, make sure you do. Alright, time is up. What we're going to do, let me do this one last sentence real quick. This warm-up should not take us very long. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer to go off again, and it shouldn't take us any more than 5 minutes to go over it. So, we did this just the other day. We did volume. Can anybody remind us, how do you find volume of a rectangular prism? Logan.
multiply the length times the width. And then you multiply that number on height.
Good, so volume is length times width times height. Can I please have a volunteer come to the board to do the first rectangular prism for us? Alex, come on up. So Alex is going to come do the work on the board. You do have calculators on your desk, but I noticed that a lot of you all did not use them, and that's great because this is something that you could do without a calculator, right?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
So go over to the left a little bit, Alex, so we can do that one on the left and the second one on the right. If you couldn't see our numbers, length, width, and height of the person is 12, 4, 12, 4, and 9. No, a couple of people asking. While Alex is doing that, can anyone remind me what volume is measured in? What type of units volume is measured in? Sarah. Cube units, right? And what exponent is cube unit? Sarah? 3. Can anyone tell us why it's measured in units cubed? Tom?
Is measured in units cubed, what, never mind.
Hayden?
Because you can fill up a three-dimensional object with 2D objects.
With 2D objects? Like if you have a box and you're filling it up, what are you filling it up with?
3D objects.
What type of 3D objects? Cubes, right? Whenever you're thinking about hauling, you're putting cubes inside to fill it up. That's why it's measured in units cubed. Also, there's 3 measurements that we take, length, width, and height. That's the way to remember it. 3 measurements, exponent of 3. So what did you get, Alex? 432 inches cubed. Thumbs up if you got that. That is correct. Any questions? Questions about the first one? Questions about the first one? Okay. Who would like to do the second one on the board? Go for it, Bronson.
Yes. Good call. Good call. 6 times 6 equals 36, and then times 10 equals 360.
Check your units real quick.
Wait. There's 3 times 12.
I don't. Is there an instrument around anybody's desk? It's not yours.
You did,
That's 6 times 12.
centimeters.
There is no pi.
Oh. I have to fix that. There's no
There's no pi, it's all 6.
What's wrong?
Okay, so 6 times 10 is 60. Wait, no, 6 times 12.
No, it's not.
It's not 12.
It's 10.
This is 6, 10, and 6.
Oh, I've
You
been
did it
looking at
right.
that one this whole time.
The second one. You did it right the first time.
See,
You just have to the edge wrong.
You're fine.
6 times 6 is 36. And then times, okay, 10 equals 360.
It's not inches. There's no.
I don't care.
Bronson,
Yeah.
what are your units up here? You gotta care, okay? Don't need a different answer. Thumbs up if you got 360 centimeters cubed. Good. Any questions about that? Okay, you have a question? Nope. Any questions? All right. Go ahead and, without getting up, make sure your name is on your warm-up. Pass them forward. The only table that might have to get up is Indigo's table because you're kind of far away. I want Lanaya to have the stack in about 5 seconds of everyone's warm-up. Get out your math notebook while you're doing math homework. Alright, Lanaya should have them in 3, 2. Any stragglers? 1. All warm-ups should be up front. Yes, Eliza. Does anybody have any lead that Eliza can borrow?
Actually, I would.
So Ben's gonna give it to her. Thank you, Ben. Okay. In your math notebook, we are going to do things a little bit differently today. I'm going to create a poster for us to hang within the room for you all to look at as an anchor chart to help you all do your problems in the next few days as we continue this unit. So everything that I put on the poster, you're putting on your notebook. Instead of how I usually do it under the document camera, you're just going to copy what I put on the poster. The first thing I want you to do in your table of contents, does anybody need a piece of paper? In your table of contents, write your title, which is going to be straight from your IPN statement. Everything that I have underlined in orange is your title. Mean, median, mode, and range. Yes, that's me. Anybody else need paper for their notebook entry? Alright, that is your title. Put it in your table of contents, label the page number. After you write your title, go ahead and write your IPN statement as your first line so we know what our goal is for today. our I-can statement is I can calculate the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. So at the end of the day, our goal is whenever we're given a set of numbers, you can calculate the mean, median, mode, and range. Put that I-can statement in your notebook. Look up here when you're done writing so I know I can start my poster. So once again, your title is underlined in orange, and then write your I-can statement. Got it all right down, Jay? A few more seconds. So the first thing we are going to do is talk about mean. We're going to talk about each one of these words and how you would calculate them if given a data set, which is like a set of numbers. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do in your notebook is write mean and kind of write it like it's a title, write it bigger, or underline it, put a bubble around it, whatever you want to do in your notebook that helps you see it as a title word, as a definition word. Mean. It's just like the word like if you're mad. So the mean is the sum. What does sum mean? Raise your hand. What's sum mean, Jalen? The answer to an addition problem, right? It is the sum of a set of numbers So when given a set of numbers, you add them all together. Sum means the answer to an addition problem. Divided, and the numbers that I write in a different color are important because they're kind of like the main idea of what the mean is. So you might want to underline or circle those words. It's the sum of a set of numbers divided by the number of numbers in a set. Might be a little wordy. We're going to do an example if you're confused. As up here whenever you're done writing that, so you can do an example. As up here when you're finished. Yes. Say that louder.
You find an average of a set of numbers.
Pretty much the mean, it's just finding the average. And what is average? Can you put that into words? It's hard to put into words. Try.
So pretty much it's whatever you divide. It's like the middle number.
The middle number, I know what you're thinking. What do you think, Jack?
It's the overall,
The overall, what do you mean by the overall?
like, everything put together, like, and then, so,
Everything put together what?
everything together, like, added together and then the value, but,
Nice. You want to add on, Colin?
The average is when you have numbers and then it's like say like you have grade for different grades. You have like 3 A's, a B and a C, and your average grade would be an A.
Okay, so you're talking about grades. If you think about it, if you have a set of this data, Tom, you wanna add on before I say anything?
The average would be the number that is most likely to happen, and it's kind of like normal.
It's kind of like normal?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like that comparison. It's normal, maybe. Analyze it.
So the average number is, when you have these seven numbers and, I guess like an example would be, if you had, I don't know, a sale in the market and there's like an average, the average people, the average amount that people bought was like 5 cans of this. Usually there was like 5 drinks or the 5, a couple of 5s that would down.
Okay. Basically, it's just kind of, when you have this set of numbers, it's around what all of them are. So whenever we talk about, if everybody took a test in this class and we calculated the average score, it would mean that around about, as a whole, that's what the class scored. It's kind of confusing still, right? We're gonna work on it. Does everyone have that written down? Okay, let's do an example, real quick. Leah, what's your favorite number? 7.
The average baseball.
Jay, what's your number in baseball?
Well, it's 8.
8. Okay. Lamont, give me a number. 73.
It's not the greatest.
And 2 more. Kayla, give me a number.
89.
9. Lanaya, last one. 21. 21?
That's mine.
Okay. So this is my set of numbers, and we need to find the mean, the average. How can we find the average of this set of numbers? What are you going to do? Look at our directions. What are we going to do, Lily Grace?
You would add them and then divide them by 5.
Why are you going to divide them by 5? Because there's 5 numbers here. So everybody has a calculator on your table. Add them together and divide by 5.
I got to tell you, it's my
So you add them all together, and then you take the sum and divide it by the 5 numbers that you have.
118.
Oh, what you get? Just raise your hand.
23.6.
23.6, 23 and 6 tenths. This equals, added together, 118. Divided by 5, the mean is 23.6. Did everyone get that? Does anyone have any questions how we got that? Nope? Yes, Eliza. Because there's 5 numbers in our set. If there's 3 numbers in our set, you don't divide by 3. Alright, next one. Moving on. Median. Next, write it like the title. You can maybe separate them if you want. Median. Before I tell you what the median is, I want to see if you all can figure out what it is. Because, think about this. Hold on, hands down for just a second, because I know some of you already know what it is. Think about if you're in a car, somebody you know, your mom, your dad, your cousin, they're driving down the street, and they're trying to turn onto a really busy highway. They're trying to turn left out of the subdivision, right? What if there's a lot of traffic across, but not right when they turn? And there's usually this little lane that has yellow on it, you know what I'm talking about? And you can pull out onto that little lane and wait.
Yes.
So, anybody know what that lane's called? Turning lane? Not the fire lane.
Median?
It's the median. Have you ever heard that called the median? There's usually, sometimes there's a little hump in the road in the middle. It's called the median. Where is it located on the road? It's in the middle, right? So what, Kaylee?
The number in the middle.
Is what? So the number in the middle of our data set is the median. The one thing you have to know though, you have to put your data set in numerical order. It can't just be the number randomly in the middle. It has to be in numerical order. So the median is the middle number. And if I'm in your way, I'll get out of your way in just a minute. When data is arranged in numerical order. And the easiest way to put them in numerical order, just line them up smallest to biggest, least to greatest.
That's a much easier definition.
Pretty easy one to remember. If you can't remember, like, what is the median? Think of that middle lane in the middle of the highway. It's called the median. It's in the middle. Yes, Jalen?
When it's even numbers, you can't have middle number, don't you? Basically,
Yes, we're going to talk about that. You're on it. We're going to use the same data set that we had before. Look at your data set and help me put it in numerical order. Who can raise your hand and help me put it in numerical order? Essence. Put it in order, Molly.
7 numbers?
Yes, the same set of numbers.
Okay. 7, 8, 9, 21, 17.
Alright. We are now in numerical order. It's in order from least to greatest. Does anybody have any ideas of the easiest way to get to the middle? Ben, what do you do?
Take on out to the middle. Y'all do it off and take off one on each side.
Yes. That's what I would do. The easiest way to do that would be to take off one on each side until you reach the middle. Because if you have a ton of numbers, you can't easily see what's in the middle like you can here. So take off one on each side until you get one number left in the middle. So what's our median? 9. That's a good question. Ronson just asked, and Jalen mentioned something. He said, can we only have an odd number then, whenever we're talking about median?
An odd number of numbers.
So think, an odd what?
An odd number of numbers.
An odd number of numbers, yes. Think about this. Can you predict if we didn't have an odd number of numbers, and there was 2 numbers left in the middle, how would we find the median? So say we had 6 numbers and we were left with 2 numbers in the middle. What would be the median? What would we have to do? Lanaya, what do you think? Why are you going to add it? You're not saying right. And do you remember why we did it?
because there's no 2 numbers left in the middle.
Alright, so Lanaya remembers being taught this. She said you do something with adding them, but are you kind of unsure why though?
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, what do you think?
So like, if you add those together, it forms a number and you eventually have a real number.
So do you only add them together?
Well, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that part, okay. Lily Grace? Of what? What you have to do, if you're left with 2 numbers in the middle, pay attention, this is really important, now Dave, you listening? If you're left with 2 numbers in the middle, for example, say you were left with, there was another 9 here. And you're left with both of those numbers, you have to find the average of those 2 numbers. Lily Grace just told us. So we have to find the mean of those 2 numbers. So how do we find the mean, Robin?
Okay, so you'd have 9 plus 9, which is 18, and divide that by 6.
Well, how many numbers did we add together?
No, you divide by 1.
So you're not finding the number of numbers in the data set, but think about this. We're finding the average of those 2 means. So
So divide by 2.
yeah, you just divide it by 2.
And then that would be 9. So it's 9. It's still 9.
It is still 9. So if you're left with 2 numbers as your median, you find the average of those 2 medians. You want to find the average median. Add them together, divide by 2. Because you're adding 2 numbers together. Make sense?
Yeah.
Questions about that? Alright, moving on. Our next one is a mode. Make another title. The word is mode. often. And a set of numbers. It's the number that occurs most often, the number you've had the most of. So think about the new data set I just kind of created if I had 2 9s in it. Now it's 7, 8, 9, 9, 21, 73. Which one occurs most often? 9. So what's our mode? 9. Whatever occurs most often is your mode. Now think about this. What if you only have one of each, like here? What's going to be your mode? What number occurs most often? What do you think? Analyze it. What?
7, because there's 7 and 8, 7.
It's a good thought because there's a digit 7 here. But we're looking at the numbers as wholes, okay? Not just their individual digits in the number. So what would happen if all of them only occurred once or the same number of times? Bronson?
I'm guessing you add them. Oh no, you find the mean.
No, you don't have to find anything. You just gotta look and think to yourself, what occurs most often? Anything?
7.
0.
You have to look at the numbers as a whole, right?
7 times 2 is 7.
And go, what do you think?
Maybe 73, because maybe if you, it's only, if the number only occurs one time, then maybe you try to find a median.
What do you think, Ben?
I think maybe the 7 because 21, if you did 7 times 3, it would be 21.
Okay. You all are thinking like, I really like how you all are thinking, trying to come up with some ideas. You're making it too hard. Is there more 7s than anything else? Like as a whole, the number 7 itself, 7, single 7. Is there more 8s than anything else?
No.
There more 73s than anything else?
No.
More 9s?
Yes.
No.
In this set? More 21s?
No.
Is there more than,
There's no more. Oh, so
there's no more.
There's no.
Okay? If you don't have a number that occurs more often than anything else, there's just not a mode. Right? Pretty easy, right? Y'all are. It just second all the time. Alright, questions about the mode? Last one. Range.
I bet I figure out where it is.
Range. What do you think it is?
I think it's the distance of something. Or no. How far can it go?
How far something goes?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it's used a lot in Call of Duty.
Okay, I like that. So range is used a lot in Call of Duty. It's the how far something goes.
Yeah, because if you look at the stats of the gun, it's like a pistol and it's much range than
I like that comparison. So it's how far something goes. So how are we going to find the range of a data set here? Jaden.
Maybe we can see how many numbers there are in the whole set.
What do you mean by that?
Like how many numbers keep going on through the whole set until it stops.
Give me an example of how you do that. I'm kind of confused on what you're trying to tell me.
See, there's 7, 8, 7, 3, 9, and 21. There's 5 numbers, so that means there's 5 numbers that we keep.
So you would think that the range is 5? Okay, so it goes a distance of 5 numbers maybe? What do you think, Tom?
I was gonna say that a range of baseball is how much field baseball player can cover, but I think it's 73 minus 70 because it's the distance between the smallest number and the largest number.
You are correct. So I like the comparisons, how far in a video game, how far something can go. How in baseball, it's the area that someone can cover on the field. So in our data set, it's the distance that it covers. It covers the distance from 7 all the way to 73, right? So what you do in order to find the range is you find the difference between the greatest, and you want to see this in the back?
Yeah.
And least number in a data set. So all you do is take the biggest number and subtract the smallest number. Obviously, 66. So biggest number is 73, smallest number is 7. Your range would be 73 minus 7. Which is 66, correct? Questions about how to find the range? Yes, Jalen? Any of them? Or just the range? Just the range? So all you have to do, Jalen, find the biggest number in your data set, whichever one is worth the most. So 73 is our biggest, right? Then all you do is subtract the smallest. Take the biggest, subtract the smallest. Our smallest is 7. The reason you do that is because it tells us how many numbers are covered throughout the set. There's from 7 to 673, there's 66 numbers, right? If you subtract. So it's giving us a range of data from 7 to 73. Make sense? Okay. Questions? Jay? Yes. Questions? All right, what we are going to do, you can either do it on, I would like you to copy it down. You can do it on the same page if you have room, or you can go to the next page. What I did when I did it with a different class, I flipped my notebook sideways. We're going to take a survey as a class and collect a data set and find the mean, median, mode, and range of the data set. So I'm going to move this over here. You can write it in your notebook here. You can turn it sideways, whatever works best for you. We are going to make a line plot of our data. It should not take us too long.
You need a page.
It's up to you. If you have room on your page, you can do it. I would put it on a separate page just to make sure I have enough room for everything.
Are we going to allow to 27?
What?
27.
No. That's for you to keep as your notes. Yeah, if you do it for that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a survey of our shoe sizes. Okay? So make a line plot, a number line, and number it from, let's just, to be safe, let's say 1 to 13.
Don't do that. I work 14s.
Let's go to 14. Do we need to go to 15?
No. Not yet.
All right, go up to 14. And label your line plot.
Should I do it the bottom or the top?
Bottom. Our class shoe size. I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to call on you. I'm going to ask you what your shoe size is. I'm going to plot it on the board. You're going to plot it in your notebook. Now, I know that y'all are going to want to make comments. Keep the comments to a minimum. I have to make sure that I can hear everyone. Also, no disrespectful comments. Yes, Elijah.
What about 0?
Do you wear a 0?
No. You need good 0.
I didn't. You can if you want. Yes, it is.
Half or whatever.
Good question. If you wear a half, for the sake of just keeping our line plot looking very pretty today, round it up. Okay, so if you wear 7.5, say you wear 8. Okay? Yes, Ellie. Well, if you have time to look at your shoe or guess. Okay? You all ready? I'm going to start with mine. I'll wear a 9. Lamont, what shoe size do you wear?
Shut up.
I'll wait for just a second. Comments are being whispered so I can hear everyone's shoe size. Sadara, what do you wear?
9.
Lily Grace.
Who's trying?
Katie.
8.
Jaden.
9.
Ben.
14.
Sophia.
9.
Ellie. Tom.
11.
Eliza.
6.
Jalen. 2. Shayla.
6.
Sarah.
9.
Abby.
7.
Essence. Oh, sorry guys. Is that the one I did wrong? So that's Abby, and then Essence, you were 7.
Yeah.
Indigo.
8.
Hayden.
8.
Isaiah.
10.
Simon.
9.
Leah.
5.
Alex.
7.
Camille.
9.
Jasmine.
10.
Autumn.
5.
Haley.
9.
Annalene.
Might be like,
Logan. Yeah. Bronson.
9.
Lanaya. Colin. Jay, what size shoe do you wear?
8.
Anyone I missed? Alright, I'm going to give you a second. I know I went really fast. I'm going to go ahead and label above each X how many I have so you know. 1, 2, 1, 3, 3 5s, 2 6s, 3 7s, 5 8s, 11 9s, 3 10s, 2 11s, 1 14. So you should have this plotted on your chart. Yes, Jay?
So the first one is the outlier.
Yes.
and
That's the one on board, too.
Alright, whenever you're finished making your line plot, look up here so I know we can move on. Once again, when you're finished making your line plot, look up here. Simon, you have yours written down? Colin, you finished? At least there's the number.
It's supposed to be icy, but so yellow.
Waiting for a few people to finish up. Ben, do you have it all written down? Okay, admin, you done? I'm supposed to be up here when you're finished. Easiest one to find, real quick, raise your hand. What is the easiest one to find? Median, motor range. Sophia. Just by looking at our line plot. What? What about 9? What is it? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. The one in the middle? It might be the one in the middle if we put them in order from least to greatest, right? But what can you easily tell? What can you tell about 9 right now? It's the tallest one in our line plot, right? Which means what? It has the most. Which one of these is the one that occurs the most often? Mode. The easiest one to look at if you have a line plot is mode and tell which one occurs most often. 9 occurs most often. It's our mode. Does that make sense? Alright, let's go ahead and go in order now. Mean. How are we going to find the mean? Raise your hand and tell me, how are we going to find the mean? What are we going to do? Leah, what are we going to do to find the mean?
Find the mean. You're going to have to
by 9.
We have to divide by the number of numbers in this set. So even though like we only have certain ones that we use, each one of these x's is a separate number. So we have to divide by how many are in the whole class, how many we took. So if you count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, remember I was included. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 11, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So you end up dividing it by 32. Yes, Ben?
Oh, wouldn't that be accurate because the loose shoe sizes are smaller than yours? Like a men's 9 would probably be a women's 7 or 8.
Oh, because men's and women's sizes are different.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about numbers here. So we're not really worried about that. Okay, so how many did I say to divide it by? 32. So take your calculator, everyone. I want to see if we get the same answer. When you add them up and you do this, you'll have to do a 9 for each one of these x's. So you have to do 9 plus 9 plus 9, or since you have 11 of them, what can you do? 99. Multiply. So add them together, find the mean. Let's see if we get the same answer. Divided by 32, that's how many we have. So once you have that, put your calculator down so I know that we can ask what you all got. And think about it. When you get your answer, there's a decimal. Think about which shoe size, which whole number shoe size is that closest to. Is it closest to the lower one, 7, the higher one, 8? We're not going to do decimals because we're talking about shoe sizes, right? Calculator's down when you have an answer. Then just hit clear and start over. Add all these together and divide by 32. That's how many. Alright, let's see. I see a lot of calculators down. Jasmine, what did you get? .09. Okay, real quick. Jasmine, think about that. Our mean is like our average. Do you think that the shoe size 3 is the average of all of these? No, right? Because 3 is kind of over the side. We don't really have any 3s. So think about, do you think maybe you did something wrong? See if your answer makes sense. You may have just entered a number wrong. See if it makes sense. Tom, what'd you get?
Okay,
8? Anybody else want to share what they got? Jaden, what'd you get?
I got 8.1875.
Okay, Sarah, what'd you get?
I got 8.06.
Alright, Colin, what'd you get? So 2 is 8.0625. Jay?
8.0625.
Alright, agree with that. Anybody else that got that as an answer? 8.0625. Alright. If you add them all up,
Are we supposed to divide by 32?
you're supposed to divide it by 32. There's 32. Okay? If you add them all up, you get 258 as a total.
that's
Good.
right.
Then divide 258 by 32. You should get 8.0625.
And so we round it, it would be 8.
It would be 8. Yes. No, only the ones with the X. Those are the only ones who have. 5. Thank you, Eliza. Thank you, Indigo. 4. 3. Real quick, there's a couple of things going on that I want to make sure that you all know. You do not include 1 or 4 or 12 or 13. We don't have, there was no one in the class with those, right? We didn't put any X's, which means no one in the class had those, so they're not included in our data set. The only ones included are the X's. Yes, Eliza.
So when I added mine all together, I got 33.
Did you only do 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6?
I was adding the numbers. I was adding
I did 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3.
So you're looking at the numbers up here? Alright, this was just how many of each one we had. So you have to look at these numbers down here. These are the shoe sizes. So here you do 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Right? Because this number represents how many 5s we have. Okay? Other questions? Yes? Alright, very quickly. Range. How are we going to find the range? Anyone?
I know.
Someone who has not participated yet, that would like to participate. How do we find the range?